My great pleasure to greet you on this beautiful morning. My name is Talal Abu-Ghazaleh. I am going to be with you throughout this first session, and I have the privilege of being in company with this distinguished group of panelists. It's a great privilege for me to be with you. But let me start first by thanking those who made this event possible. I would like to salute our sponsors, particularly our platinum sponsor, Pearson, and our gold sponsors, It's Learning and Blackboards. And I also want to give a special applaud to the three countries who have the largest number of delegates at this meeting, in the order of Netherlands, UK, and England. So welcome to this important meeting. And Finland. I was debating within my own small mind whether to start with introducing the speakers or to make some provocative remarks. I have no speech to read. I will just be trying to wake you up at this time by provoking you. So if you don't like what I say, remember what a great leader said, Winston Churchill. The greatest lesson in life is to realize that idiots are sometimes right. So if I could be an idiot, but I could be right. So I have four points. Initially, I have a comment and I have an announcement. First, I would like us globally, and I don't like the word globally, I will try to kill it in the later statements. I would like us all worldwide to go into learning rather than teaching, and to completely forget the word teach, with all due respect to teachers and instructors. They should be given a new term like facilitator or enabler or leader, but in the knowledge society, learning is the approach to education and not teaching. So we need to start changing our literature into talking about learning and stop calling ourselves teachers. Remember that education has a Roman root, comes from a Roman word which means pull out. It doesn't mean push in. It means pull out the knowledge. That's the word education. My second point is we don't need to reform our education system. We need a new education system for a digital era. Completely new, completely different. And we have to stop thinking about how we can use or digitalize. We don't need to have eyes that look for new ways of doing things. We need new eyes that can show us a new world. 3, I don't like the use of the word developing and developed. So please, in your presentations, it offends me and many others. And it offends the developed particularly. Because if I say you're developed, it means you stop developing. And if you say I am developing, then you tell me I'm not developed. So it's offensive both ways. And particularly in this age and this world that we are going into, moving from information society to knowledge society, and hopefully later on to the wisdom society, we have to be more wise in describing people. And actually there are no countries that can be identified. There can be developed persons in what you call developed country and undeveloped persons in a developed country. So let's try to stop using that word. I would like us to introduce a new concept to our education called education for citizenship. The problem with education is we produce excellent, qualified architects, lawyers, whatever. But what for do we produce them? we have forgotten that the purpose of education is to serve your country, and that in your education programs, you should educate through citizenship and for citizenship. Education through citizenship comes in making it part of the program of education to teach students, again, I'm using the wrong word, teach, to allow students to learn, to enable them, to facilitate for them to learn about their country. Incidentally, in the Arab world, we don't have an exact translation for citizenship because we don't believe in cities. We believe in watan, homeland. We have, the equivalent is muwatana, which means belonging to your nation. Education for belonging to your country and to your nation and to the region. And through then educating them through society service, like civic service, etc. Let us stop talking about a global crisis, my next point. The West likes to talk about the global crisis. There is no global crisis. There is a Western crisis. We have to be honest and address the issue as it is. Is there a crisis in China, economic, in India, in Brazil, in Russia, in the Gulf countries, GCC? Many countries are enjoying growth and prosperity. In Qatar alone, we are expecting this year a GDP of growth between 20 and 30%. In all the GCC countries, we are expecting a 10% growth. There is no global crisis. There is a Western crisis. Arab Spring. You have sprung on us the word spring, which is alien to our literature. This is not a spring. And I don't know when you had in 1848, when the world had the first European awakening, they called it Renaissance. They didn't call it spring. Spring is a misnomer. This is a renaissance, and we're going to go through the painful process of change. A renaissance is about change. Spring is about enjoying the beauty of the weather of that season. We are not in a spring in the Arab world. We are in the beginning of a painful, long, tedious, expensive process which will take us into becoming an awakened country and countries. So let us please concentrate on calling it and realizing that what you have in the Arab region, and by the way, maybe for once, again, the Arab world will be starting to export its technology to the rest of the world, because you're going to have renaissances in many countries in the world. This is not particularly tailored for the Arab world, and you will see it on the streets of many countries very, very soon. Now, we are trying to learn from ICWE and develop in the Arab world a joint project I would like to announce for a learning academy, a learning innovation academy, LIA. This Learning Innovation Academy is about everything I talked about and much more, and what you do and what you're here for, to learn from you in building a center of dissemination of information, knowledge, training, skills, awakening, and to help the Arab world develop its learning innovation processes. We're talking about a new world in the Arab world, and we think at the basis of it should be education. Now, this conference is the 17th conference, and we have over 100 countries represented here today. We have over 2,000 delegates and participants, and 378 speakers. This is very impressive. I have not been, and I am around. I haven't seen so much distinguished presence and abundance in quality and quantity. Now, I don't want to leave it to the end of my statement, but I'd like to thank the organizers, and particularly Rebecca whom we all know as the star of this event, and her very special and distinguished colleague, Astrid Jaeger, and their team. Thank you very much. After you're done with me, I would like you to, at the end of this session, to visit the exhibition. This is, again, a very impressive line of excellence in education and leadership in education. I spent a good part of my day yesterday visiting the booths and learning from the learned experiences of the exhibitors. So don't miss it, please. The sessions, I also attended a number of the sessions, and I am very impressed with the quality of presentations and discussion in all of these sessions. But I have to start with the session.